Endo Theater presents The Nevermore Graves. The Preludes. Prelude 1. Isaac. Isaac Emrys is not stupid. He knows that when a group of teenagers you've never met invite you to a huge party, you're likely to be the entertainment, not the guest. He could tell just from the way they looked at him that whatever happened at this party would end with him doing his absolute best not to punch out the host and leave early. Sure, part of him wanted to believe that this wasn't the case and that these people had simply invited him out of the kindness of their hearts. He scoffs at the thought. Yeah, right. Isaac Emrys is not stupid. But another thing he is not is a coward. Isaac straps on his helmet and mounts his bike. Sure, he could get his brother to drive him, but if he did, he'd never hear the end of it. Alex has an uncanny ability to voice the thoughts that Isaac already has but doesn't want to hear. Isaac despises it. He can practically hear Alex's voice, or perhaps just his internal monologue, reprimanding him. People always had trouble telling Isaac and his brother's voice apart, and Isaac often finds himself thinking in Alex's voice rather than his own. You know this is a trap, right? Isaac grits his teeth. Not now, Alex. Not now. Isaac shivers and wonders why he decided to leave home without a coat in the middle of the Pennsylvania winter. The road is bumpy and uneven as he pedals down the street. It's nearly pitch black out, and the old light mounted on his bike's handlebars is just barely helping out. It's an eerie feeling riding your bike alone in the dark. Isaac can't help but envision some terrible thing barreling down the street after him, snapping at his back mere inches away from scoring flesh and ripping Isaac from his bike. He'd always been known to do that. Isaac had a knack for always finding something to worry about, and if there was nothing, he'd make something up. In this case, however, Isaac has plenty to worry about. He's too busy worrying about the imaginary beast behind him to notice the very real one that scurries out from the woods beside the road. A small woodland creature, likely a chipmunk or something similar, picks exactly the wrong moment to scuttle across the street. Instead, it scuttles right into Isaac's path. It's too late by the time Isaac realizes what's happening and tries to swerve out of the way. The critter wedges beneath the front wheel of his bike, and the speed, combined with a sudden obstacle, tilts the entire bike forward. Isaac is catapulted across the last few feet of his journey, through the rusty old gates of the Patterson graveyard. Alex's voice is the last thing he hears as the ground rushes up to meet his skull. Shoulda worn a helmet, man. Prelude 2. Alice. It's just the kind of weather outside that Alice loves. Chilly, but not too chilly. The leaves are beautiful this time of year, as they always are. She's always loved those days in early November when the weather got colder and the stores put up all their leftover Halloween candy on sale. Despite all of this, Alice is in a terrible, awful mood. Hey, Mom. This is a sort of yearly ritual for Alice, but she suspects she'd be here even if it wasn't. Often, she feels like her mother is the only person in the world that can make a day like the one she's had a fraction of a fraction better. Unfortunately, as of 2 years ago today, her mother can no longer speak back. What's new? Anything? Under any other circumstances, she would have laughed. Her mother would have laughed too. Maybe she did, wherever she is. Alice wants to tell her mother what happened, but finds that every time she tries to pull her feelings into words, they slip away. It's like she's grasping at fish with her bare hands in a pond. There they are, right in front of her, until she grabs at them and they all scurry away into the murky waters. They talk about you, Mom. They say a lot of things that aren't true. Usually I can get them to stop, but today I couldn't. I ran away, Mom. Alice's mother doesn't answer. It takes a moment for Alice to realize how silly it is to expect her to. Nonetheless, she finds herself waiting, eyes closed, to feel her mother's arms around her, to hear her mother say that she did what she could, that she isn't a coward, that she loves her. Alice can picture her mother, hear her voice saying the words she so desperately needs to hear, but it just isn't real enough. It will never be real enough again. For the moment, Alice is alone with her thoughts, but only for a moment. She feels something lightly hit the top of her head. She feels at the spot, and her hand comes away slightly wet. Rain. Great. She begins to pack up her things as the drizzle becomes a downpour. As she heads down to the dirt path to the gates, the drops begin to hurt too much to just be water. Hail? In California? She's surprised at how little this surprises her, knowing her luck. Her coat protects her from most of it, but her hands are unprotected, freezing cold and stinging more and more with every second. Alice feels her foot catch on something she can't see, and all of a sudden the grass is rushing towards her as a sense of balance goes out the window. The last thing she sees is the contents of her bag spilling out into the floor beneath her. Hey everybody, it's Endo Theater, the guy who made the video you just watched. I just wanted to say, if anybody is watching, thank you for watching, and there will be more in the future. This is the first 2 chapters, maybe not chapters, I don't know if I want to say chapters, of a serialized novel that I will be publishing as often as I can, chapter by chapter, on this channel and hopefully on other podcast feeds as well. If you like it, I don't have like a Patreon or anything. I don't really have a way for you to support me other than continuing to watch the videos, and maybe drop a like, subscribe. It would mean a lot, and hopefully I'll be able to actually monetize this somehow in the future. And if I can monetize it, that means I will be able to get better audio recording equipment so it doesn't sound as bad as it probably does after I edit it. So, again, thank you for watching, and stay tuned.